Alright, what's up, everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today's video, we're going to be talking about 8 players that I think could potentially be first-time All-Star. I'm not saying all 8 of these players are going to be first-time All-Stars this year, but a few of them probably will. And just giving appreciation to some players that really stepped up their game and are maybe around that All-Star level that haven't been there before. And yeah, we're going to talk about that today. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. Really appreciate it. We're on the road to 500 subs, so if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And yeah, link to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that in the description down below. And don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So the first player we're going to start with, we're going to get the obvious ones out of the way first, and probably the most obvious one that's going to be an All-Star this year, maybe even All-Star starter this year, Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers. So far this year, he's having an insane season, averaging career high in points, rebounds, assists, all that shoot. He's averaging 27 points, 4 rebounds, 6.7 assists per game with only 1 turnover, while shooting 47% from the field, 40% from 3, 89% from free throw line, which is a career high, taking the most amount of shots per game, and still being efficient. You know, the whole offseason with the James Harden saga going on in Philly, him wanting to leave, we all knew that Tyrese Maxey was going to have a lot more on his plate. After having a good year, last 2 years, improving much from 8 points per game to 17.5. Last year, he averaged 20. It was like, can Tyrese take another step this year, and how big of a step he's going to take? You know, I think we all expected him to be better this year with the ball more of his hands with James Harden, but I don't think we expected this type of leap. We went from really good to dang near all-star starter like good. Like, he's just taking a huge jump. The offense, the Sixers in general have been really good. The offense has been more free-flowing and stuff like that. But Tyrese Maxey has been amazing. I mean, he's been efficient while taking 4 more shots per game than last year. He's still shooting like 1% worse. He's still shooting 47% of the field. He's still shooting 40% from 3 and 8 attempts per game. You know, he had a 50 ball at one point during the year as well. He's just been efficient in shooting, but also not turning the ball over. He's averaging almost 7 assists with only 1.5 turnovers per game, which is really good. You know, so he's taking care of the ball. He's shooting the ball efficiently, getting it done. He's been absolutely amazing this year. And right now, he's the winner for most improved player. I think it's his award to lose at this point. He's just taken another step and ascended into a different level, and he deserves to be an all-star this year. I don't know if he could be an all-star starter. I don't know, depending on how things go and where seedings are and stuff, but he's for sure going to be in the all-star game. Guy number 2 is probably another obvious guy, but it's Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks. Brunson this year is averaging career high in points per game, career high in steals, also shooting a career high from 3. He's averaging 24.6 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 5 assists with the steal, while shooting 47% from the field, 44% from 3, 80% from free throw line. A lot of arguments that he probably could have made the All-Star game last season, because that's last year when he had his breakout year in New York. And in his second year, there's a lot of talk about, is he going to be like that? Is our numbers going to go down? What is it? He's actually been pretty much the same, if not maybe even a little bit better this season. You know, with the Knicks being kind of shaky to start the year, he's been one of the most consistent things with New York, as your career high in points, while still getting it done, facilitating the ball defensively, he's getting it done, and shooting the ball efficiently, especially from 3. Like, there's a point during the year where he was shooting better from 3 than from the field. That, in a sense, you know, evened himself out. But he's still shooting 44% from 3 on a career high attempts from 3. Averaging almost a little bit under 7 attempts per game. He's still shooting 44% from the 3-point line. He's been absolutely efficient, dominating out there. And yeah, he's been a baller, and he should be awarded with his first All-Star appearance this season. Guy number 3 I have is Alperen Sengun of the Houston Rockets. Now, this is one that I'm still not. He'll be in that conversation for sure. And this is one I can see going both ways. Like, I think I'll be excited to see him make the All-Star game, and I think he definitely has a good argument to make it. But the Western Conference forwards at this point, because thinking about this, so eventually in the future, probably next month or so, when the All-Star, before the All-Star starters and stuff are announced, because they're usually announced probably early February, late January. I'm gonna make a video doing my All-Star ballot in the East and West, and I'm thinking about it right now, or I was thinking about the last few days. And Alperen Sengun is a guy that probably could make it, but there's so many forwards in the Western Conference right now that maybe he won't make it. But he has a legit chance. I mean, he's having a great year. Averaging career high in points, rebounds, assists, steals. He's averaging 20.5 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal with almost a block per game, while shooting 54% from the field, 31% from 3, 63% from the free throw line, which is a career low. But, I mean, he's been balling. The Rockets in general have been balling. The Rockets look like an actual good team. Right now, I think they're the 7 or 8 seed in the Western Conference. They've been balling. Alperen Sengun has taken a big step forward and has shown that he's the guy in Houston. He's probably the best player right now with the Rockets. When things revolve around him, it looks really good. I mean, he's a big center that can, his passing ability is one of the main things about him that intrigues so much. High IQ guy that can pass the ball really well. And he averages over 5.5 assists per game at a 6'11" center. But also his scoring. He's been more confident and aggressive scoring, especially around the basket. He's a big body, also really surprisingly nimble. That can move around and score there. The mid-range has been good. The three-point shot, even though he's not shooting the ball super well percentage-wise, he's taking a lot more of them. It looks a lot more confident in there. He's just a great offensive center. And defensively, he's not bad himself. He averages a steal and almost a block per game. But yeah, I think he deserves to have. He'll definitely have All-Star consideration. He definitely deserves to be in the game. And I'll be really excited if he does make the All-Star game, because that would be really good to see. I don't know, but the talent in the Western Conference is so big that I won't be surprised if he doesn't make it. But he still deserves a lot of credit and acknowledgement for what he's been doing this season. Guy number 4 we have is Paolo Banchero from the Orlando Magic. Magic have been one of the surprise teams of the season. Right now, they are the second best team in the Eastern Conference in December. They've been balling, and Paolo Banchero definitely, there's a good chance that he probably makes the All-Star game, him or the guy we're going to talk about next. A little spoiler, who we're going to talk about next, guy number 5. But Paolo Banchero has been really good this year after having winning Rookie of the Year last year. Everyone kind of knew that there's star potential in his future. So far this year, he's averaging 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4.5 assists with a steal while shooting 49% from the field, 39% from 3, 68% from the free throw line. The numbers have gotten better over the last few games. He's been really balling. He had a 42-point game against Cleveland. He's had 20 or more in the past few games. But I talked about this in the Magic video as well that I did, I think last week. I did a video about the Orlando Magic and how they're doing this year. But Paolo Banchero hasn't really taken a huge step from last year to this year. But it doesn't matter because the Magic are still winning. And the Magic as the second team in the East definitely deserve an All-Star. I don't know if they get 2 because of, again, how much talent there are, especially at the 4 position in the Eastern Conference. But maybe there's a conversation to be had that maybe they could get 2. But I think if I had to choose one, personally right now, I think I'll pick Paolo for the Magic. Even though we're going to talk about the other guy that could be the All-Star for him next. Well, Paolo's had a great year. And yeah, it's a big thing to see that he's still only 20. Well, he's still only 20 years old, right? 21. He just turned 21. And he's in his second year, and he could be going for numbers and stuff like that, but instead he's kind of more leaned back a little bit. Like, it hasn't looked like a big improvement from last year to this year, but he's still been really good. He's been passing the ball more. Defensively, he's been more locked in. The shooting has gotten a lot better. The efficiency has gone way up from 3 and from the field. On kind of the same amount of shots. He's just gotten better making them. And he's been really, really good this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the All-Star game. Guy number 5, someone we alluded to just a few seconds ago, Franz Wagner of the Orlando Magic. Again, I said the Magic are having a great year, number 2 seed, and right now it's a big kind of conversation a little bit on who would the Magic All-Star be. Would it be Paolo or would it be Franz Wagner? Because they're probably going to get one. At least they should get one. If they don't get one, that's crazy for them being number 2. I don't know if they both make it. There's a world where both of them can make it, but Franz Wagner has a really good argument for himself as well. He's averaging career high in points, rebounds, assists. He's averaging over 20.5 points with 5.7 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and a steal. The efficiency has gone down. He's shooting career worst from the field, career worst from 3, and career worst from the free throw line. He's shooting only 45% from the field, 30% from 3, 83% from the free throw line. So yeah, the efficiency has kind of been not great because he's usually a pretty solid, efficient C player. This year he hasn't been that, but he's still been very, very good, especially over the last, I want to say 2 weeks or so. He's been playing great. I mean, he's a guy that isn't the star of the team, but he just does so many things on the court. Like, he's probably one of those guys that would make an All-Star team just because, I mean, he's on a good team and his numbers aren't gonna look crazy like a superstar, but he just does so many things to impact the game. Like, he can score from 3 levels if you need him to. He can defend really well. He can pass the ball if you need him to. Like, he can do anything you need him to. He's one of those type of players. And I won't be surprised if maybe he makes the All-Star over Paolo. But if it's not this year, eventually I feel like he'll probably make an All-Star team maybe once or twice in his career. But he's just a really good player, and the Magic deserve a lot of credit, for how much they're doing this year. I don't know if they get 2, but maybe there's a possibility that maybe they get 2. But Franz definitely has a good All-Star case. Guy number 6 we're going to talk about is Scottie Barnes of the Toronto Raptors. Barnes has had a really good season this year. He's having career highs in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, 3-point percentage. Like, he's been balling. He's averaging just under 20 points per game with 9 rebounds, over 5.5 assists, 1.7 steals, and over a block per game while shooting 47% from the field, 38% from 3, 75% from the free throw line. He's definitely in the most improved player conversation as well. Even though Tyrese Maxey's kind of head and shoulders above everyone, Scottie Barnes is number 2 right now. He's been balling this year for the Raptors team, even though they're not as good as other teams, so he's not getting as much recognition as a lot of other players would. But Scottie's been great. You know, he looks more just confident after having running rookie of the year. Last year, he kind of didn't really take a jump. He kind of was kind of the same, if not maybe a little bit worse than his rookie year. But this year, he's taken kind of a big step forward, and he's been the Raptors' best player probably this season. You know, he's scoring the ball when we need him to. He's rebounding the ball well. He's facilitating well. You know, defensively, you know, he can bring. He's shooting the ball efficiently, shooting the ball with confidence as well. Shooting 38% from 3 on 5 attempts. That's really good for him, especially the last 2 years. He was a 30% three-point shooter and 28% three-point shooter. Now he's taking 2 or 3 more a game and shooting way better. You know, he's still shooting efficiently from the field, even though he's taking more shots. Like, he's just been really, really good. Kind of been the guy for Toronto. Now, about actually making the All-Star game, it's kind of similar to Alper Sengun, where, you know, I can see it happening, but also not surprised if it doesn't happen, just only strictly kind of based off, like, the Raptors aren't really good. Right now, the Raptors are the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference, and I feel like only guys that make the All-Star game that aren't, like, that are the bottom of the conference are, like, the superstars, like the Steph Currys or the Kobe's. Like, those are the only guys that really, I feel like, make it, even though their team isn't, like, in the playoffs. So maybe there's a world where Scottie does make it, absolutely, and I won't be surprised if you do see him out there, but also won't get your hopes up and guarantee that he'll make the game, you know. But he's still been having a great year. Now, these last 2 guys are guys that I feel like most likely there's like a 90% chance they're probably not going to make the All-Star game, but I feel like they still need recognition. And maybe if injuries do happen, because unfortunately injuries are part of the game, if they do happen, these guys maybe could be replacements and stuff, and maybe could make it that way. First, this guy number 7 we have is Desmond Bane of the Memphis Grizzlies. Bane, even though the Grizzlies have not been good this year, you know, so he probably won't make it because of that, but he's been having a great year. Career highs in points, assists, steals, blocks. He's doing it all. He's averaging just under 25 points per game with 4 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal. He's shooting 47% from the field, 38% from 3, 86% from the free throw line. Of course, with Ja Morant missing the first 25 games, and he'll be back pretty soon. Maybe even like the end of this week, I think Ja's coming back. But Desmond Bane has done a great job of being the number 1, even though the Grizzlies haven't won games. They're, 13th in the West, I want to say. Yeah, 13th in the West. They're 6-16, even though they are getting a little bit better as time's going on. But Bane has been the one kind of consistent thing they can rely on. You know, he's been the main option. He's usually used to being a number 2, number 3 option, but he's taking the number 1 option. He's been really good. Shooting the ball still efficiently, even though it's not as efficient as he usually is. Like, this year, his worst shooting percentage from 3, you know, but, I mean, he's taking more shots. He's taking 3 more field goals, almost 2 more threes a game, so you can kind of, you'll expect the efficiency to go down, but he's still been super efficient compared to a lot of other people that take those shots, you know. Like, he's still been doing that. He's been kind of playmaking for other guys as well, getting others involved. Defensively, he's still been good. Like, he's still been really, really good. He's been kind of like an improved version of himself this year, and that's been every year. Every year he's taken a step forward. He's went from averaging 9 points to 18 to 21, now to 25. Like, he's just been slowly improving as time has gone on. It's great to see. Again, he's probably one of those guys that he probably won't make the All-Star game just because his team sucks. Like, if he was kind of like the 7 or 6 seed, he'll probably be in there, you know, as like a wild card. But he'll probably be one of those guys in the West that if like someone is injured, unfortunately, or if there's a few injuries, then maybe he can get consideration in there. But that can't take away from how great he's been. Now, the 8th and final guy we have on the list is Mikal Bridges of the Brooklyn Nets. Bridges so far this year, of course, he had the big breakout last year with the Brooklyn Nets after he got traded, and everyone thought maybe this could be the big year. He's most likely not going to make the All-Star game. Like, I would bet money on he's probably not going to make it. But seeing how he's been playing the last month or two, there's a little bit of more, you know, hype probably is going to be there. And the Nets are the 8th seed in the East, and they usually award playoff teams. So maybe he gets in there. You know, who knows, with a wild card spot, or maybe if an injury happens, he gets in there. But Bridges, so far this year, is averaging a career high in points, rebounds, assists. Yeah, he's been great, averaging 23 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. He's shooting 49% from the field, 38% from 3, 87% from the free throw line. He got off to a really rough start this season, you know. Not shooting the ball efficiently, especially from 3. He was not great. But as of recently, he's been starting to ball. You know, in the past, want to say, 8 games or 9 games. Yeah, past 9 games, he's been really good, averaging 27, 6, and 4, shooting 52% from the field, 52% from 3. Started with that 45-point game against Atlanta he had a couple days ago. Then he had another 40-point game against Orlando. He had like 30 in the first half or something like that. He's had 20 in 8 of his last 9 games. Like, he's been starting to ball. You know, he's starting to hit the 3. He's starting to be more efficient. And yeah, he's playing really good. Again, he's probably a guy that's probably not gonna make the team, All-Star team. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make it, but he still probably can get some consideration, especially if the Nets continue winning and maybe are like a 6 or 7 seed by, you know, because right now they're 8th and they're only like a game and a half behind like the 6th, 5th seed. So if they're maybe a number 6, number 7 team, maybe people are gonna look at Mikal Bridges and maybe consider him, you know. But yeah, it's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.